What is up, Solow Sportsters? We are here today from the lovely club at Eastern Athletics in Dix Hills in New York to give you a full breakdown and review of the Head Gravity MP. It's a new racket, just updated. We're gonna take it on court, so let's get into it. For this playtest, we decided to use a full bed of Head Hawk Power 17 gauge at 53 pounds. This round polyester is a great fit as it is a bit softer and has some good power elements to kind of work well with this control-oriented semi-dense frame. And overall, I think it's going to be the performance that we look for. The Head Gravity Mid Plus 2025 is updated where some things stay the same and a couple adjustments, with the same 100 square inch head size and unstrung weight of 295 grams equaling 10.4 ounces. It has a swing weight of 323, putting the balance point at the 13.2 inch mark, making it 3 points head light on this standard length 27 inch frame. It has a constant beam of 22 millimeters and a super soft RA of 57. The string pattern is semi-dense as a 16 by 20, and available grip sizes are 4 1/8 through 4 5/8. The Head Hydrosorb Pro is stock grip, and the color is a dark black, color shifting purple to teal variant on the frame. The cosmetic on this racket is throwing me for a bit of a loop, and it starts with the finish. It is a high gloss finish, which you will see on a lot of the pro rackets on tour. They choose to go glossy versus matte, but this racket typically has a matte finish. So they've changed it up a bit, but the overall cosmetic looks almost identical to last generation with that same dual color, a little bit of a color shifting nature. What do you guys think? Did they knock it out of the park in this year's rendition, or is it too similar and too much of the same thing? Let us know in those comments below. A couple years ago, I was fortunate enough to be meeting with the Austrian team which designs these Head tennis rackets, and they said something very unique in that Head focuses their energy on making high-end rackets for high-end players. So although they might not have a huge range for introductory players or those that are playing recreational, Head dominates that high-end player market by offering tons of choices for the variety of players. So if you are serious about your game and you play quite a bit of tennis at a high level, you have to consider some of the Head rackets. And if it's not this plush, comfortable racket in the Gravity, then maybe you go with a control setup for the Speed, or a classic setup in the Prestige, or an all-around racket in the Radical, or a spin racket in the Extreme. But Head absolutely crushes it when it comes to high-end rackets for those who want to play the game the way it's meant to be played. From the baseline, I truly enjoyed this racket. I think it plays differently than the story the specs will have you believe. So it is a 1620 racket, but I found that I was still getting excellent spin generation despite the semi-dense pattern. Secondly, it's a standard weight racket, right around 300 grams, but it feels more powerful and more solid than that 300 grams. It feels like that higher weight class, like that 310 or that 315. And then finally, it's a larger 100 square inch head size, but maybe because the beam is so thin, it felt exceptional and maneuverable through the air. So it was really quick. So it is a comfort racket in the Gravity system, and it is a control racket, but more than that of what the specs say, I thought it was quite powerful and it had a lot of pop in this setup. A unique part about this racket specifically And many rackets that are entering the market is the shape of the head size. So not all 100 square inches or 98 square inch rackets are created equally. So in this 100 square inch setup, you're gonna notice that it's far rounder. It doesn't have that elliptical thin shape through the middle. And what that does is, if my fist were the tennis ball and I were to hit the ball just off center, it allows me to get that brushing motion to create a lot of topspin and a lot of spin without hitting the frames on the side. So the surface area is not only just a 100 square inch surface area, but it's in the right way that is improving the sweet spot to make it a massive sweet spot and make it a comfortable hit, but it's also minimizing the amount of frame shots and mishits that you'll get because of the symmetry and the way that it's set up. The solidness of the racket continues at the net. I found that the harder my opponent was hitting and the harder the balls came at me, the easier I could deal with them. It was very stable. There was no kickback. I just had to set the racket up, get something in the sweet spot, and the result was excellent. So it is an all-court racket that you can use from the baseline and the net, and I think with the extra pop and the extra power, you're gonna get in to get some short balls quickly. So if you're an all-court player, like Mr. Zverev, who endorses this racket, then get ready to close out that net with ease.
The Head Gravity MP 2025 has evolved from a high control racket to a more diverse setup in its Auxetic 2.0 update. The ideal player is someone rated 3.5 to 4.5, primarily playing as an aggressive baseliner, but certainly all court players would mesh well. Two-handed backhands are preferred with just about any grip style. If you want power through swift racket head speed, control from the semi-dense string pattern, connected feel through a thin graphene frame, and plush comfort on a new lower flex, you will get it all on this head update. Similar rackets include the Babolat Pure Strike 100 1620, Yonex Percept 100D, or Wilson Clash 100, but I do put this Zverev endorsed option as the new leader of the pack in this demographic.
We are signing off here and possibly getting back on court, but we want to remind you that if you made it to the end of the video, please hit that subscribe button because we have new videos of awesome rackets like this and new products coming every single week, so we want you to be the first in the loop.